Hello everybody. It's Diane, aka Lucky Gardenia's Dashboard Confessional, coming to you. It's the haircut diaries. Yes, I'm still kicking and trying to hold this steady. I look for my tripod before leaving the house, and as you can tell, I was not successful in finding it, but I just thought I'd take a couple of seconds to be in front of the camera this time. I have a little bit of makeup on, but it's kind of wacky. And then I was touching up my eyelashes, and I got some mascara on the side of my bangs. I guess they're kind of bangs. I don't know what you call them. But anyway, so it kind of looks darker down there. I'm a hot mess, guys. Elvis is in the building, and because I have not been doing this on any type of typical schedule, and not in front of the camera for months, I'm really kind of out of whack at this. I don't even know if my shirt's straight. Got on all my silver and turquoise, kind of a little camo bandana around my head. That's kind of what I'm going with nowadays. I've got tons of bandanas. Not a whole lot you can do to spruce up short hair, but anyway, just wanted to say hi and let you know it has cooled off here in Texas. It's currently 84 degrees. I think it's getting down into the 50s. In some evenings, Aster and Hazel are loving it. They're not wanting to come inside. They're out romping around. And Aster gets into everything. He is Mr. I gotta go check everything out. But those two pugs, and anybody else that has pugs, I think it's probably best to always have two. They are like joined at the hip. If Aster's outside, Hazel will be outside. She'll wait for him to come in. Lord help you when you have to take one to the vet and go, the other one's left behind. I mean, you would think the world was falling. But, for y'all who don't realize or maybe new to watching me, my brain goes every which way. ADHD, for real. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, you know when it's cooled off, when you wake up in the morning and Hazel's sleeping with her head sit right on top of my head. Of course, she's got the shorter snout, so she's snoring. And then Aster's like plastered right to the side of my face. And I'm like, this can be really good when it really gets down into the 30s. Or 40s even. You know, I'll have my own little hot pugs beside me trying to keep warm. But yeah, I mean, you talk about right next to you. I mean, with two right on top of your head. It was really funny. Let me see what else. Cowboys have been going up and down. And this is going to sound very, very ridiculous. And I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm like a Dallas Cowboys for life fan. Totally support Coach M, Coach McCarthy, and Dak. Dak is my guy. But because I watch so much of the coverage, not on the TV channels, but all the YouTube content creators for Cowboys are just at such a high quality that I watch them. I do watch some of the podcast or shows that the Dallas Cowboys put out, but because so much of my day is surrounded with learning what's going on, keeping up with the news and stuff. When they lose, I don't want to hear about it for the next week, and everyone is, sofa coach and saying what needs to be done and just even if it's a win, but it's a tight win, you know, the world is falling, but, you know, and if Dak has a bad game, it's like, get rid of him, throw in the total rookie who we have not even seen on the field. It just gets crazy. And I literally go into depression. So I'm trying to pull myself back a little bit from it because it's really hard on my ups and downs. And I decided I probably need to follow more than one team. I know the Rangers are in the finals, or what, I'm not even really sure, in the playoff, trying to get into the final two for the World Series, which is amazing. I think they've won 2 games and Astros have won 1. So that's going on. What else is going on in my life? Oh, some of you, probably my few 5 people who really watch my videos, knows that this originally was a cross-stitch channel, floss tube. And Lord knows how much money I have involved. My nose is just running. Excuse me. And, you know, when I have a good intent, or really feel like I can get my head around sitting down and doing it, with the arthritis, especially in my one pointer, not even pointer finger, it's like I'm shooting the bird with my right hand. My dominant hand is just totally sticks out. I can't bend it, and it makes doing cross stitch really difficult. And I guess this is what I was mainly going to talk about on whatever video I did next, is that when you have to kind of come to terms with the changing of your body, and with me it has to do with my hands, and then that I guess is all kind of bone related, but with my rib cage, my back vertebra collapsing, really, I've lost 3 inches. My ribs are on top of my hips. I no longer have a waist. I'm just your basic tater tot. And literally, I'm not used to being a tater. And it's like, and then gaining weight from that medication I took, it's like, okay, I can walk, I can hold some things, I can do certain things that are wonderful. Just be glad for what you can do and pivot, kind of like companies had to do during the lockdowns. Is I've got to pivot. So I'm thinking, okay, I can't do some of the interests that I like doing before. I can't really hula because my hands can't do the intricate hand motions. That kind of impacts belly dancing. Cross stitch was out, but I ran across a really, do you ever watch YouTube channels that you just listen to and they just make you feel all warm inside? Well, there's a lady who, I think she's a couple years older than me, and she lives in the very upper portion of England, and I think it's Northumberland. It's right by the Scottish border, and she lives on what used to be probably a farm, or not a ranch, but she has sheep. There's sheep there. She had some chickens. It's a big house that she lives in that her parents owned, and she's a quilter, which I'm a quilter, and she really does all kinds of crafts, and she's kind of feels like back in time. Anyway, her name is Kate, and her YouTube channel is, I think I'm going to get it right, The Last Lonely House by the Water, or by the Sea, Last Lonely House by the Sea, and it has to do with Tolkien, I think, one of the series books. And she's had her YouTube channel a little bit longer than I probably have, but she's been much more successful and has really grown her viewers and has Patreon and all that. But I just really love her. Anyway, she was doing virtually rug hooking. And it took me back that my grandmother Daic, who I'm really a whole lot patterned after, you know, all watercolors, painting, quilting. I'm trying to think of what else. Rug hooking. She tried to teach me how to rug hook. And I didn't pick it up then. I probably should have spent a little bit more time. All I remember was like a cat pattern. But, and Lord, I wish I had all her supplies from them, because like a wool cutter, you have to cut little like strips of wool to hook. Approximately 1/4 inch wide. So I can use a rotary cutter with a, that I use for quilting for that. But what I decided to do were to order some kits off of Etsy, and you can use a quilting hoop to do it. I got a hook. There are some frames. I did actually end up buying a frame, and I'm trying to think of what the name of it is, but it's kind of aluminum and it's kind of tilted towards you, and it has this on all the top 4 sides. It's some kind of strip that has like a really, you know, like a dog hairbrush with the little wires. Anyway, that is kind of the format of it, so it grips onto your foundation, which is either burlap basically or linen, and the designs I bought, the kits, were linen. But what I've come to find out is using my little hoop that I probably got from my grandmother, works really well. And should I choose to, kind of like Mission Impossible, should I be physically able to do rug hooking and enjoy it, I would want to get a wool cutter. And Lord have mercy, you're talking about an investment. We're talking a unit that would probably, if you bought 2 different widths of, you know, the heads of it, or whatever you want to call it. I'm totally not calling it what it's normally called or the appropriate name for it, but really the cutter head or whatever. I would want something that cut like 1/4 of an inch and maybe just a little bit under that. You're looking at close to $1,000, but it would be handy because you can just put through strips that are about 4 inches wide and just whip it through there, and everything's very precise. So we'll come to determine whether this is something I'm going to hold on to and continue. And there's a frame that I would like to get that is from Nova Scotia. There's a lady that is a rug hooker. Her name is Deanne Fitzpatrick. I think her YouTube channel, she started it during COVID, and she's really got this really perky, quirky personality that I'm gravitate to, and she's an artist and does rug hooking, and she started out doing it with just the wool strips, but now she uses all different kinds of different wool yarns and some sari strips, I guess silks, like from India. So her rugs have changed over 30 years probably, but she has a really nice studio at the shop, and you know, everyone's very likable, and it's kind of like a day in a different world when you're watching somebody that lives in another country. Anyway, there's a certain kind of frame that they make up there, and it's about $500. So you can do it on the cheap, or you can do it at a higher level, and I would invest in it if it was something I was going to continue to do. So that's number one that I'm going to learn, and I've always loved learning new things. And the second thing is needlepoint, and the concept is much like cross stitch, except it's painted on a canvas, so I'm not having to translate and count squares from a pattern. That's a plus. And I was able to find some really quality needlepoint kits out of England, and one is he's a fiber artist, but he also has needlepoint canvases, and I'm not gonna say his name right. Calf Facet. I know I said it wrong, but please excuse me. And then there's another really fun artist. I think her first name is Caroline. It kind of has a reminiscent feel to Clement. You know, the two lovers laid in that really goldish type of blanket they're wrapped up in. Anywhere. I don't know if it's called the Lovers or whatever, but it has that kind of feel. So those have arrived. I got the stretcher bars. I'm finding all these new things out. I got the little flat pins to attach it to the frame, and actually got started. And I tried to buy patterns or kits that weren't real complicated. So, and it's going to take me a really long time to do it. And then I've also pulled out some quilts that need to be quilted by machine. And I may try to see if I can still quilt with my right hand without the expectation of having really small stitches. And I've also bought some quilt kits, and surprisingly enough, they're more modern than I would have thought I'd be drawn to. So I'm kind of set for different options. Got to have options. And so that's what's going on the home front in my daily life. And Pugaween, DFW Pug Rescue, which is my charity of choice, is having a fundraiser. And it's at the end of the month. I think it's the 30th of October. And all these pugs get dressed up in Halloween contests for different categories. And it's a fundraiser for the organization. And this group goes above and beyond saving pugs from all over Texas and surrounding states. And I already bought my t-shirt online. Don't know that I'll make it there in person, but I may. Also, there's some ukulele meetups coming up, one for Halloween and one right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, which I may go to. And let's see, what else is going on? Oh, Isabella turned 3, so had her birthday, and I took my little, what is it called? Can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. It's a all-weather ukulele that's made out of Oregon, I believe. And I think it's fiberglass, perhaps. Anyway, I took it, and I had to look up the chart for happy birthday. So she was eating her dinner or her snack, and I was sitting there practicing, and at one point she put her hands over her ears, like, and I'm like, you want me to stop? And she's like, yes. So I went on to another song, and this ukulele it's not the easiest one to play, but I thought I'd bring the more hardy ukulele that if she wanted to play with it, it wouldn't fall apart. Anyway, she eventually let me play the ukulele, and I sang happy birthday to her on that. So maybe she'll eventually want to learn how to play the ukulele. And she got baptized, so the whole family was there, and then we all went out to lunch, and I've got pictures. I may upload some from there. But the funniest thing, and I'll end on this because my hand is going numb from holding it, and the traffic's going to be really bad. It's a little bit after 4:30 here in the Metroplex, and I'm in Grand Prairie. I have to get back over to Fort Worth. Anyway, I get a FaceTime call from my daughter Robin, and I think it was for Friday, and they're on the floor with a whiteboard, erasable whiteboard, and she points down. Robin says, "Here, Isabella wants you to see the picture she drew of you." And she drew it, Robin told me, and she said, "Birdie, birdie, birdie." And so she got me on the phone, and I was like this little round, not quite circle, and I had two little short legs with little shoes or feet, and I had little spiky hair, and I did have a smile, and that was Birdie. So I'm the actual little tater tot there. And then she drew this other figure who had these really long legs and much taller than I was, and that was Juju, which is Jennifer, Aunt Jennifer, my daughter Jennifer. And then she went on to add Robin and Carlos and herself to the picture. So we were taking screenshots, and I'd like to maybe try to convert it to like embroidery or something, but it really was cute. And going back to her birthday party, when I drove up, Isabella was in the backyard and she could see me, and I went and I was like, "Hi," and she came running out through the house, and her cousin was, running. She's older than her and can look after her, and she's like, "Birdie, birdie, birdie," and so excited to see me, and it just makes my heart smile. So I am so blessed to have a granddaughter, and that she's excited to see me, and she had a great time and loved all her gifts, and she's got the longest, darkest, wavy, pretty hair, unbelievably long. And she was in the, I think, Dollar General with Louis, that's my ex-husband, not with Louis. She was at the Dollar General with Sonia, who is Carlos's sister, and she had this fake microphone, and she's singing, "Jesus loves me, yes I know." And that's all she knows, and she's screaming it or singing it at the top of her lungs in Dollar General. So I guess the baptism has taken hold. Anyway, I'll leave with that. Hope all is well in your world. Would love to know what you're doing this fall. I'm drinking some coffee, Java, and it's concentrated, and they say you can get 35 cups out of it, this little concentrate. They lie. I measure it every time, and I know I do not get 35 cups of coffee out of it, but it is tasty. It's kind of pricey, but French vanilla is my flavor of choice. Anyway, that's all from this front, from this Texas gal, and avid Dallas Cowboy fan, and would love to know what's going on in your world, and would love for you to like the video, to subscribe, hit the like button if you like it, and share with others if somebody wants to see my crazy life. Anyway, love you all. Peace out.